Hey everybody, welcome to Chapter 8, Lesson 5 on Inequalities. As I said before, this is going to work in a very certain way. For today in particular, I'm going to use the packet worksheet that I gave you to go through examples and sort of teach on what the concepts are that we're learning in this section. In the future days, it might be a little different from that, but that's at least how we're going to get started today. So I have the worksheet pulled up here. We're going to be looking now. I want to go through the basic notes that you would have learned in this section just as if we were in class. And then I'm going to work through a couple of the examples with you to make sure you understand what's going on. From there, you're expected to finish the rest of the problems from that worksheet and turn them in by the end of today, which I'm calling 7 p.m. You have from the moment this video posts until 7 p.m. to get the worksheet turned in today. So that being said, we're gonna go ahead and get started. So in your notebooks, you should have titled, just like we normally do, your title of the day is Chapter 8, Lesson 5, Inequalities. Today is Monday, March 16th, okay? And we're gonna go ahead and get started. The first thing that we need to recall is just our inequality symbols. So we've been using these previously, but we've got our less than symbol. We've got our greater than symbol. And then we've got two other symbols. And I don't know if you guys remember these from previously, but we've also got a less than or equal to, which is essentially the less than sign with a line under it. That sign means less than or equal to, which means it could actually also be equal to the exact number we're talking about. So for example, if I was gonna say, well, what is less than or equal to? I can say that 7 is less than or equal to 10. 7 is less than or equal to 10 because we can say, well, is it less than 10? Yes, even though it's not equal to 10. That being said, I can also say that 10 is less than or equal to 10. Because while 10 may not be less than 10, it is equal to 10. And so it still fits in that combination. So we also have a greater than or equal to sign. Which looks just like the less than or equal to sign, but going the opposite direction. And so an example that we can use to describe that would be 9 is greater than or equal to 5. But another example could also be that 5 is greater than or equal to 5. Because no, it's not greater than, but it is equal to. And that's how we play with those symbols in particular. So all of that being said, that's like your main notes for the day. And we're just gonna use the information we have, use the knowledge we have to go ahead and try some examples. So if you pull out your packet that I gave you last week, we are gonna start with example question 1 on the first page of your packet, lesson 5 homework practice. We're gonna do number 1. So for you, that should say 32 plus A is greater than 44. And then they're giving you those 3 options. They're giving you the options 11, 12, and 13. And we have to check which number is a solution. Not all 3 numbers are going to be solutions. We have to try it out. So given that, we've got 11, 12, and 13, I'm gonna plug each of those in. I'm gonna say, well, what happens when A equals 11? And so I write that out with 11. 32 plus 11 is 43. So is 43 greater than 44? No. So we know that the answer can't be 11. And we're gonna go ahead and try 12. 32 plus 12 greater than 44. 32 plus 12 is 44. Is 44 greater than 44? Still no. So it can't be 12 either. If that said greater than or equal to, you'd be set. But the fact that it just says greater means that 44 can't be greater than itself, and we go on to 13. You should be like, oh, 13 is going to be the answer. If you're thinking intuitively, you know that 32 plus 13 is actually 45. And is 45 greater than 44? Yes. Ding, ding, ding. So we know that that answer would be 13. Now's a good time to pause the video so that you can try questions 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 on your own. It would also be a good idea to pause and rewind and watch this again if you're still a little bit uncertain about how that went. But next up, we're gonna do example 7. So, I'm gonna erase the board. I didn't bring a paper towel with me because that was me not being prepared. Oh, erasing with my hand. Fantastic. We'll wash those hands later. And question 7. Question 7 today says 9 minus g greater than or equal to 3 for when g equals 5. This time, instead of giving you 3 options, we're literally just asking, is g equal 5 the solution to this inequality? So we're gonna try it out. We have to say, okay, well, we wanna know what's happening when g equals 5, so let's go ahead and plug that 5 in for g and see what happens. So I'm gonna rewrite this saying 9 minus 5 greater than or equal to 3. You've gotta take the step now to solve. 9 minus 5 is 4. 4 greater than or equal to 3. And so that's our question. Our final answer says 4 is greater than or equal to 3. If that's a true statement, then G is a solution. But if it doesn't equal a true statement, then it can't be a solution. So you have to tell me now, is 4 greater than or equal to 3? Yes. So since the answer is yes, we can say yes, G equals 5 is a solution. Yes, G equals 5 is a solution. Okay? Now, the final one that I'm gonna walk through with you guys, and this is your time. I keep looking over because my dog is right outside just chasing her tail in circles. It's fantastic. So you should stop now and you should try 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and see how they go. That way that if you have any questions, you can come back to our office hour time and we can have some conversations about what's going on there. But the next one we're gonna do is question 13, and then you'll try question 14 on your own. Question number 13 says that the local Lions Club sold raffle tickets for a new golf cart. The sales for each week are given in the table, and we're saying that if more than 250 tickets are sold, then the Lions Club must have raised enough. We're using the inequality in this case, T greater than 250. And don't mind me, I'm actually using a used board here. T greater than 250, and we have to go through week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4 and determine which weeks they raised enough money. So if in week 1 they sold 248 tickets, is 248 tickets greater than 250? No. So week 1, they didn't sell enough. In week 2, they sold 315 tickets. So in week 2, did they sell enough? Is 315 greater than 250? Yes. And so you're working your way through the chart, and we're gonna determine that the only 2 weeks that they sold greater than 250 tickets were week 2 and week 3. Week 1 and 4, they were under, so we can't include those. But week 2 and week 3 would actually be what you would call like your final answers in this question. You'd say week 2 and week 3, they sold greater than 250 tickets, which means that they would have enough in those 2 weeks if you're gonna write out a full explanation there. Okay, so that's really it for lesson 5. That's it for lesson 5 on inequalities. These are the intro steps. These are the let's give you numbers to try to plug in and you tell me which ones work. In the next lesson, we'll learn a little bit more about solving them without having numbers already provided to us to see if they're solutions or not. And so that will be our next step. But for now, you have until 7 p.m. to complete your entire worksheet. It's 14 questions. I've now done 3 of them for you. So you've got about 11 questions left. What you'll do, I went onto Edmodo and I created an assignment. So on Edmodo, all you have to do is go to that assignment, take a picture of all of your work completed. I want you to have your answers circled or highlighted so that they're easier to stand out. And you're gonna submit that picture into Edmodo so that I can essentially check for completion of your classwork of the day. It will not be a grade automatically. Think of it more as our normal homework practices, where tomorrow or later on today, I'll go ahead and post some answers up so you guys at least have an idea on if you did well or not. And that way you have questions to bring to our first little online virtual lesson, the video chats we're gonna do. So see you guys later.